You guys remember that screeching noise? That was actually aliens. I'm just kidding, folks. Now, at this time, my company would like me to say, on behalf of the city of San Antonio and Go Rio Cruises, we would like to recognize all first responders, active duty military, and all veterans. If you're a first responder, active duty military, or a veteran, would you please raise your hand high in the air for us? Now, is that because we don't have any veterans on board? You guys just being modest. Well, okay, I'll let you guys know you're both Captain. I'm a veteran. I served in the United States Marine Corps during Operation Desert Storm. Thank you guys. You guys are great. You're making me blush. Thank you, everybody. Now, you guys see this village on the left? That's La Villita. La Villita is one of the oldest neighborhoods in Texas. Made in 1722 for the families of soldiers stationed at Mission San Antonio de Valero, which today we call the Alamo. On top of that hill on the left, you'll find a local artist market where you can buy one-of-a-kind gifts and jewelry. This is the Arneson River Theater, and that stage on the right was featured in the movie Miss Congeniality starring Sandra Bullock. That's where the bikini contest was filmed. Did anybody see that movie? Yeah. You guys remember that scene? They asked one of the bikini contestants to describe her ideal date. And then she thought about it and she said, well, I'd have to say that my ideal date is April 25th. Yeah, she said because April 25th is not too hot, not too cold. It's just enough for a light check. Look on the right-hand side, everyone. You'll see a statue of a cowboy herding longhorn cattle. Longhorn cattle are very dear to the state of Texas. They were bred by the cowboys because they could make the long trek north for the cattle drives that Texas was so famous for. That statue is in front of the Briscoe Western Art Museum, which was made in 2013 and named after the late Texas governor and his wife, Janie. From 1930 to 1968, that was the San Antonio Public Library, and from 68 to 2001, that was the Circus Museum. This iron bridge is one of only 10 iron bridges made like it in the entire world. All 10 of these bridges are made all the way off in Berlin. That's Berlin, Connecticut, that is. Now this is the lowest bridge you're going to go underneath. We had a professional basketball team go underneath this bridge with us once. We asked them all to lay down. On the right-hand side, you'll see Marriage Island, a heart-shaped island formed by the roots of a cypress tree. Legend says any adults who stand on Marriage Island will be happily married within the next 5 days. So let's give these folks a hand, shall we? Congratulations, guys. Congratulations. We're happy for you. Thank you for visiting San Antonio. On top of Marriage Island, there's an iron sculpture called Father Massenet's Table. It was made in 1991 by a local artist named Rolando Perseño to commemorate the first Catholic Mass held in the area on June 13, 1691 by Father Damien Massenet. Father Massenet knew that June 13th was the feast day of St. Anthony, so he thought it was only fitting to name the river and the city after St. Anthony. On the right-hand side, you'll see the Westin Inn. That was made in 1988. Inside, you'll find the authentic furnishings of a 17th century English castle. Everybody look straight ahead. You see that red brick building with the green tile roof? That's the Bexar County Courthouse, the oldest courthouse in Texas, made in 1897. On the outside, she's made of beautiful red Texas sandstone. And on the inside, she's made of beautiful Texas limestone. But almost everyone takes that entire building for granted. You guys look on the left-hand side, and you'll see the Tower Life building, made in 1929, purchased for $3 million by the Smith brothers. That's the official history right out of the script. But I know some unofficial history that's a lot more entertaining. I'd love to share it with you, but in this case, it's a little spooky. So what do you guys think? Would anyone like to hear the unofficial history? Raise your hand if you want me to share that with you folks. All right, guys, look all the way up to the top, and if you've got sharp eyes, you might be able to see statues sticking out at right angles. Those are gargoyles. Now look at the corners of the windows on the second floor, and you'll see faces that are engraved in the corners of those windows. And none of those faces look happy. Those are called grotesque faces. Unofficially, the Smith brothers were very superstitious, so they added those gargoyle statues and grotesque faces in 1929 to chase away evil spirits and bad luck. But it didn't work because 1929, that was the year the stock market crashed. So they had to buy the building for $3 million, but they could only sell it for $300,000. But that's not the spooky part. So if you turn around and look behind you, they say if you look at the Tower Light building from this side, it looks like the bow of a giant ghost ship. Anybody see that? Now guess what, folks? That building is empty, and it's been empty for years. You see, the locals here in San Antonio consider that building to be haunted. Ghost hunters come from all over to investigate that location for paranormal activity. Some even say if you listen carefully, you might be able to hear that ghost ship actually honk its horn. Anybody hear it?
I don't know.
All right, don't be afraid, folks. So the real reason I have to stop the boat here and honk the horn is because this is a blind intersection. It's a mandatory stop for all of us. So we all have to stop our boats there and honk the horn just in case there's a boat coming from the left and the right. Everybody look at this green building on my right hand side. That's the International Building. It was made in 1998. And if you look at this bridge in front of us, the Dolorosa Street Bridge, you see those shiny metal things at the top? So those shiny metal things are padlocks. Locals call this Love Lock Bridge because tourists, they come here to San Antonio, they propose on Marriage Island. They get married on Marriage Island, and then they bring a padlock and they lock it onto that bridge. And then they take the keys to the padlock and they throw them in the river. Now they say whoever comes all the way here to San Antonio to do that with their sweetheart, your love will last forever. But one of the boat captains has a buddy who's got 4 locks on that bridge. I told him next time, just bring a combination lock. On the right hand side, you'll see the Drury Plaza, made in 2007. But way back in 1929, that was the first Alamo National Bank. And the original bank vault is still inside. If you look to the left-hand side in the distance, you'll see the oldest church in Texas, the San Fernando Cathedral, made in 1731 by 16 families from the Canary Islands who were invited here by King Philip V of Spain. That's back when Texas was under Spanish control. The San Fernando Cathedral is also the resting place for the ashes of the defenders of the Alamo. This tree in front of us is the oldest and the tallest cypress tree on the Riverwalk. Over 100 feet tall, over 400 years old. It's called the Bent Island tree, but some people call it the cypress tree. In 1835, Colonel Bent Island escaped from captivity in Mexico City, and then he came here to San Antonio to join the Texas militia. He had to take a reduction in rank in order to sign up with the Texas Volunteers. So he was busted from colonel down to private. Now he might have lost his rank, but he did not lose his leadership ability. And he successfully routed the Texans in a 6-day raid against the city, liberating it from the Mexican army and placing it safely in the hands of Texas. But during the battle, he was shot by a Mexican sniper perched in that tree. That's why they call it the Bent Island tree of the sniper tree. Some time ago, I had a descendant of Colonel Bent Island on my boat. It's called the Mexican Amphitheater. On the left-hand side, you guys will see the Drury Inn made in 1998. And on the right-hand side, you'll see the Esquire Tavern. That was made in 1933. That's the oldest bar on the Riverwalk. It also has the longest wooden bar top in the state of Texas. That's over 100 feet of beer-soaked wood. During the Prohibition era, when it was illegal to serve alcohol in the entire United States, legend says that bar never shut down and never stopped serving alcohol. Instead, it masqueraded as a barber shop. So people would go into that bar supposedly to get a haircut, and they'd all come out buzzed. If you look to the right-hand side, you'll notice tourists in their natural habitat. You will also notice the Aztec Theater, made in 1926. The famous comedian Charlie Chaplin used to love to entertain at the Aztec. Charlie Chaplin, he was a practical joker. Once he entered a Charlie Chaplin lookalike contest, but he only won third place. I guess there was two more people who looked more like he did than he did. This bridge in front of us is the most famous bridge on the Riverwalk. The official name of this bridge is the Robert H. Hugman Bridge, named after the designer of the Riverwalk. But this bridge was featured in the movie Selena, starring Jennifer Lopez, so her fans call it the Selena Bridge. On the right-hand side, you guys will see a beautiful cream-colored building, the Mocara Hotel, made in 2003. Now, way back in 1901, that was the L. Frank Statler Company, the largest saddle manufacturer in the whole wide world. Look on the left-hand side, and you'll see the Omni La Mansion del Rio Hotel. That building exists because in 1853 there were four brothers from the Society of St. Mary's who came to San Antonio and made St. Mary's Academy, an all-boys school. It later became St. Mary's College of Law, and then Patrick Kennedy, a graduate of the Law College, purchased that building and turned it into La Posada Motorhome. 1968 for the Hemisphere. Does anybody like optical illusions? Yes. You're about to see the biggest optical illusion you've ever seen in your life. Everyone look up and to the left. You're going to have to stretch your neck in order to see this. Just take a look at that big building on the left-hand side of this thing. It looks like a giant optical illusion because it looks like it's completely flat. Some say it looks like the wind is going to blow it over and it's going to fall down on top of us. But I promise it won't fall. That's the Nick's Hospital. It has been there since 1930. It opened its doors as the first full-service medical center in the United States of America. Some notable individuals born at the Nick's Hospital include the comedian Carol Burnett and Marine Colonel Oliver North. Directly in front of us is the Hyatt Regency Hotel, made in 1981, 16 stories high. It's in front of the most famous war monument in Texas, the Alamo. Now, everybody here in Texas, it's illegal for anything to cast a shadow on the Alamo. So, that building could not be built until after it was subjected to shadow testing, and that's why it's only 16 stories high. Because if they were built any higher, then the shadow might fall on the Alamo. And we're not going to let that happen here in Texas. Now, some of you may recognize your Buckhead.
Oh, I mean, that's
Yes,
like,
it is true. I do have relatives who fought at the Alamo. But I should probably let you know. It was only my aunt and uncle this last weekend. On the right-hand side, you'll see the Casino Club building. But you won't be able to do any gambling at that Casino Club. That building on the right got its name because in 1927, there were two German immigrant social clubs that merged together. One was called the Casino Association. The other was called the San Antonio Social Club. The author Alex Haley, who wrote the book Roots, actually stayed at that location. That's where he wrote part of his book. On top of that building is the flag of the country of Texas. Not everybody knows this, but Texas, we were a country before we were a state. We were called the Republic of Texas, and we're the only state in the Union where we're allowed to fly our state flag at the same height level as the American flag. This is Restaurant Row, the most densely populated area of restaurants on the Riverwalk. Everybody look straight ahead. Across the street on the left-hand side, see that giant red sculpture over 60 feet tall? That's the Torch of Friendship. It was made in 2002 by Mexican artist Sebastian. It's a gift to the city from the country of Mexico to commemorate our friendship with each other. Look on the right-hand side, you'll see a statue of Robert Putnam, the designer of the Riverwalk. He put his offices on the Riverwalk level of the Clifford Building, which is on the right-hand side as well, in 1941, to prove that his flood design system actually worked. But it wasn't until 5 years later, in 1946, when the first restaurant opened up on the Riverwalk level. He said, all right, Robert, we're going to put our faith in you and your flood design system. And we're going to open up our restaurant on the Riverwalk level. Now, everybody, if you look to my right-hand side, you'll notice that same restaurant is still here today. Casa Rio, the restaurant on the right. That is the first and the oldest restaurant to open up on the Riverwalk level. Everybody look straight ahead. You see this beautiful hotel in front of us, the Hilton Palacio del Rio Hotel. It was made in 1968 for the Hemisphere. People say when you look at it from this angle, it looks like Lego logs that are stacked on top of each other. Well, that's because that building was made using a construction technique called modular construction. And all 496 of those rooms were made one at a time at a location about 8 miles away. Each room was individually carpeted, fully furnished right down to the Gideon Bible, and then each room was brought here and set in place one at a time by crane. And the Hilton Palacio del Rio Hotel is in the Guinness Book of World Records and the largest hotel built in the shortest amount of time. Now, before I pick you guys up, my last road trip, I was driving through here, and there was actually someone swimming in the river right here. And so we had to stop and wait for it. Now, you don't want to do that, folks. The local authorities came in and got her. Now, she's looking at a $500 fine. She has to go to court. Sometimes people who do that get banned from the city for life. There's a very low tolerance for shenanigans on the Riverwalk here in Texas. Everybody look straight ahead. You see these two beautiful hotels in front of us? The taller one on the left, the Marriott. That was made in 1988. Before that building could be set in place, they had quite a challenge because there was already a large vacant hotel at that same location, and that was the Fairmont Hotel. The Fairmont Hotel was a historic monument and had been there since 1906, so it could not be torn down. So we just picked it up, all 1,600 tons of it, and then we moved it 6 blocks away. That's such a Texas thing to do it. Look up and to the right. You see that observation tower there? That's the Tower of Americas, made as a centerpiece for the Hemisphere in 1968. It's modeled after the Space Needle, but our tower is taller, everybody. As you know, we got to do everything bigger in Texas, right? So it's over 750 feet tall, and there are 952 steps going all the way to the top. And every year we have a contest to see who can run to the top the fastest. The record is 5 minutes and 18 seconds. Oh boy, am I never going to do that again. I'm just kidding, folks. That record was actually set by 16-year-old local high school student Tommy Johnson from Roosevelt High School in 1981. That statue is called Stargazer. She's made of 80 pieces of volcanic rock and 1 piece of marble. The marble is the star she's gazing through. Sometimes people ask me, why is she gazing through that star? What's she trying to find out? Well, folks, I think she's trying to find out if the Cowboys are ever going to win another Super Bowl. I'm just kidding, folks. She's actually looking through faith, hope, and love. All right, folks, we're coming up on the end of our tour together. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. I can honestly say I definitely enjoyed being your boat captain. Now, everybody, if you did enjoy yourself, tipping your boat captain for a job well done is allowed, accepted, and sincerely appreciated. But only if you enjoyed yourself and only for a job well done. I put the tip jar on the console there in front of the steering wheel. On my left hand side, your right hand side, there's these QR codes. That's the millennium when you get here. Now, if you guys got your pictures taken, my friend over here to the right will help you out with that. I gotta tie the boat down, but please make sure you get the left right, get the boat fully tied down, and then get back on the boat because you got the thumbs up, okay? Don't stand up till I get back on board. You guys give me a call to the 2 minutes to get the boat back down.